Hello everyone, I am Dolmio007 and welcome to my channel Games Are Us. In my videos descriptions you can find links to my streaming channel on Twitch as well as Discord server link and Facebook fan page. So guys, let the games begin. Hello everybody, welcome to Games Are Us. I have a special video made today for you guys. I'm going to show you best and basic team that you can catch from the very beginning in Kanto region that will get you really far in the game and it will come handy throughout, and it's easy to catch. It shouldn't be much of a hassle, and none of these Pokemon are extremely rare Pokemon, so this is available to everybody pretty much from the beginning. So stay with me guys, I'm going to show you what natures they're supposed to be, what IVs to train, what the effort value points to train, how to set it up for the best of ability, so you can easily get through the game from the start with no hassle, and you're not going to have to spend that too much time to actually hunting for them. So let's just begin. So stay with me, subscribe now if you like so you don't miss out on anything, and let's do this. So basically the first Pokemon I would always advise to have to everybody in this game is Gyarados. Probably one of the best and one of the most common used Pokemon in this game that is basically used everywhere. It's used in the storyline, it's used in player versus player fighting, one of the most common, most used Pokemon. And as you can see right now, I've got Gyarados that is a jolly nature. The adamant nature is always good and acceptable. You want to have a Moxie ability, which what that means is Moxie ability will give you +1 attack every time you KO'd another Pokemon. Basically, if you kill the Pokemon, it gets +1 attack and it keeps increasing every time up to +6. There is no more than +6 in this game, so +6 is the most you can get. But at this stage, nothing can touch you. So as you can see, I always recommend there you have your IVs in the yellow brackets. If you don't know anything about IVs, I do recommend the video at the end of this video. There's going to be everything you need to know about IVs if you want to find out about them and how to reset them as well. So I recommend that you have at least minimum 25 speed and attack, so +25 and onwards. This is probably the best one you can get, so that should be fairly easy for you then in the game. So keep hunting until you get that right one. And how to catch the Jolly Moxie Gyarados as well? Well, basically you can fish for it. You can't really fish at the very beginning of the game. You have to get the to Vermilion City to get your rod. But then you can actually start fishing for the Magikarp, and the Magikarp, if you catch one that is jolly nature and the rattled ability will turn into a Moxie once you evolved. Or you can buy them on global market, which they're fairly cheap. You can actually buy them fairly cheap, already done. So let's have a quick look on the moveset. My moveset, and this is probably most recommended moveset by me anyway, it's an Ice Fang, Waterfall, Dragon Dance and Earthquake. So Ice Fang, Dragon Dance is the moves that you can learn by leveling up. Dragon Dance come at level 45, and also Earthquake is a move that you have to use a TM. So either maybe you can drop from any wild Earth Pokemon, or you can buy it, which is about 200-250,000 on the global market. But you can also use Crunch move, which is also fairly good. You don't necessarily have to have an Earthquake, but if you don't have an Earthquake, I recommend another Pokemon with one, and I'm going to discuss this a little bit later further on. And Waterfall is a move that you can either ask someone in the chat or anyone you know in the game to teach you a Waterfall, or you have to get it from the casino prize seller, and I think this is cost about 5,000 tokens, if I'm not mistaken, right out of the top of my head. I think it is 5,000 tokens. So it's up to you the way you're gonna get it. Now, this Pokemon will get you really far in the game. Most common Pokemon. I have two videos: how to defeat Kanto Elite Four and how to defeat Johto Elite Four. Just literally using Gyarados itself. One Pokemon can do it all if you use it correctly. So let's discuss the next Pokemon I want to talk to you about, which is Gengar. Gengar is another Pokemon like Gyarados. It's most commonly used pretty much everywhere. Battle queues, player versus player clan wars, in the game itself to get through the storyline. One of the best probably ghost Pokemon you can have, and it's a ghost and poison, so he's got two types, the same like Gyarados is flying and water, and this will give you amazing amount of speed and amazing amount of special attack. So this is a special attacker, not like Gallardo's, which was a physical attacker. So in this case, you want a timid or modest, but I do recommend maybe a timid, so you got that extra speed. If you want to use it for player versus player, then recommended is 31 speed. If you got anything less than that, then you're gonna struggle. But for the actual story game of the actual game itself, it doesn't have to be at 31, but you have to have a good IVs, again, yellow brackets, good special attack and speed. That's what you need for that particular Pokemon, and you will come handy throughout all the Elite Fours that you're going to be doing and throughout the whole game. Very recommended Pokemon, easy to catch as well. It's only a common, the same way like Gallardo's. You can catch it in Lavender Town, in Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town, which is full of them, Ghastlies and Hunters. To evolve Gengar, you have to do it by trade. So basically, you have to speak to someone. Someone will trade your Hunter with you, and then they can trade it back to you. When you trade it, it will evolve to Gengar, just in case you don't know this part, and very handy to have. So this is pretty much my move set. I use a Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and Destiny Bond. So the Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is something that you learn naturally. Sludge Bomb, I think that's have to use a TM for that one. Thunderbolt, again, you have to use a TM move, which might cost you, or you can maybe encounter somewhere. You might drop from a wild Pokemon. Most of these moves do drop from wild Pokemon. If you get lucky, you can use that. And I also have a Destiny Bond that you can use to feint another Pokemon. So basically, if another Pokemon kills you, Destiny Bond will kill him at the same time. So very recommended Pokemon that will get you throughout the game. Next one, easy, fairly easy to catch, which is only a rare Pokemon, a Magnezone, a big important Pokemon as well in this game when it comes to electric Pokemon. But again, it's electric and steel Pokemon at the same time. I do recommend Timid. You can also have a modest one. I use modest one for player versus player, but Timid is probably also it's really good as well. You want that extra speed because Magnezone is not the fastest Pokemon. So maybe for the game storyline itself, make sure maybe you have a timid one, but modest works also. And at the same time, you want a really good speed and special attack. As you can see, my speed here in the yellow brackets, it's not the best. And again, just before I'll go any further, I forgot to add that Gallardo's needs training attack and speed. So you see green brackets 252. These are the effort value points that you can train, 252 and 252, 510 at maximum, but you want attack and speed because this is a physical attacker. Gengar is a special attacker, so you want speed and special attack to maximum 252. And again, Magnezone, special attacker 252 and 252 speed and special attack again. And if you don't know how to train effort value points or what they are, again, there's going to be a video at the end of this that you can actually look up everything you need to know about effort value points and how to train them and reset them as well. So make sure you have good speed, make sure you have good special attack again. And this is the moveset that I've been using that will help you through as well. It's a discharge, flash cannon. I've got Thunder Wave at the end, which will paralyze the enemy, and Hidden Power, Fire. Again, Hidden Power is a move that you can get either from the global market. It's not the cheapest move, but if you able to get one, I would recommend it. And Fire is very handy for him, especially if you have a Magnet Pull. It works very well if you have a Magnet Pull ability, because then you trap steel Pokemon with you, and then you can use Hidden Power Fire to destroy them, because Fire is a super effective move against steel Pokemon. And also you can get the Hidden Power from the Casino Token Price Seller again, but it will cost you 20,000 Casino Tokens, which is quite a bit as well. So, and if you don't know how to set up Hidden Power, what it is, how it all works, because you have to set it up, it's based on your IVs. Then again, there's another video here recommended at the end of this video, how to set up Hidden Power and what it really is. Let's get to the next Pokemon now. Kadabra, which can evolve in Alakazam. In this case, I haven't actually evolved my Kadabra yet, but again, Kadabra is like Gengar. You have to evolve it by trading into Alakazam, and Alakazam is one of the really good Pokemon. So because it's a very rare Pokemon, it's not the easiest one to catch, but also it's not the cheapest one to get either. And the recommended one is Timid as well. for the speed, and the special attacker again, so you want good IVs on special attack and speed. If you're planning on having it for the player versus player, then I recommend to have 31 speed. Here you can see Fairy and Fairy, special attack and speed. This is not a bad Pokemon, a shiny IV, so it's a really good defense and everything else. But the main IVs is special attack and speed. And again, you want to train effort value points in green brackets to maximum 252 and 252. And this is a timid Magic Guard ability. But you can also use a synchronized Pokemon, which will come handy. If you don't know much about synchronized Pokemon and what it is, how to work it, again, synchronizing Pokemon is designed to synchronize the desired ability. If you want to find out more about it, there will be a recommended video here, the same on the right top of the screen. Everything to know about synchronizing Pokemon and their natures. But the Magic Guard is recommended for fighting. So basically, Magic Guard can be only damaged by direct attacks. So it has to be a physical attack to damage this Pokemon. And again, when it comes to setting up the movesets, we have Psychic. I've got Dazzling Glam here set up, but you can also set up Shadow Ball, which is only can land by the TM, the same as Dazzling Glam. I've got Calm Mind, which will every time you use it will increase your special attack and special defense by 1. And you have a teleport, which can be very handy if you're hunting at a Pokemon and you want to just go get away from them. It's like running, but more efficient. You cannot be stopped from teleporting, even from trainers or wild Pokemon. But again, I would also recommend to set up a maybe a Shadow Ball if you like. So this is pretty much my setup. Psychic, he lands naturally. Teleport is a natural ability as well. Very good Pokemon to have, very handy in the game and fighting. So I do recommend to get one. Now we have Cloyster, which is a rare Pokemon, and again, it's a dual type. It's water and ice at the same time. And in this case, I recommend Jolly, or Adamant also works. Skill Link. Skill Link is very important ability because Skill Link will allow you to hit maximum number of times on the multi-hit attacks. And what does that mean? That basically means that it has a certain attacks that can hit up to 5 times in one row. They're not very strong attacks, but if you have a Pokemon against you that your move is super effective against, you can actually do a lot of damage that way. And again, I've got a Jolly nature because this is a physical attacker. So again, the most important IVs for you would be speed and attack. And again, I would recommend plus 25. So at least 25 or more speed and attack to be efficient Pokemon. They are rare Pokemon. You can hunt them pretty much anywhere. I think even in Vermilion here, if you actually fish, it's a rare catch a Jolly skilling Pokemon. Then you want to train again. Effort value points in green brackets, 252 attack, 252 speed, and you will be set. They will come very handy, Cloyster. So you have to basically catch a Shelder, and to evolve it into a Cloyster, you need to have an evolution stone in order to do it. So Ice Spear, Hydro Pump, Shell Smash, and Rock Blast. These are my my setup. So Shell Smash is very important because this will lower your defense and special defense by 1, but it will raise attack, special attack, and speed by 2. And it's recommended to use with the Focus Sash that will help you to survive an attack, so you don't die straight away and you have a chance to set up a Shell Smash. It doesn't actually work in some of the PvE trainer fightings, but it does work in the wild Pokemon. It does work in player versus player, so I recommend to do in Focus Sash for this particular Pokemon that you can get from either Global Market or Casino again. And also, Ice Spear is one of those moves that you can hit 5 times with the ability Skill Linked, and then Rock Blast is the same, which is very good move, Rock Blast, that will counter other Pokemon that Ice Spear will not. And also you have, I set up Hydro Pump. Every now and then I'll end up using it as a water move. And in this case, it's a very handy Pokemon to have. So bear that in mind. But the Ice Spear and the Rock Blast, they are not moves that you can get anywhere other than Clan War buildings for the egg move tickets from Egg Move Tutor in Clan War building in Vermilion, just above me where I am right now on the right hand side in Vermilion. and they cost you either 50 clan war tokens or about 400,000 if you want to buy the actual ticket to set it up. So it can cost you a little bit, but trust me guys, it's worth it. It'll get you through the game easily as well. Very good thing to have. And let's discuss one more Pokemon, which it's not really something that I would, well, it's quite good Pokemon to have for two reasons. First reason, if you have a Gyarados and you don't have an Earthquake set up on the Gyarados, then this is a ground Pokemon which is resilient to electric types and electric moves, and at the same time it will have an Earthquake move that is very good against electric types, super effective move that will help you through. But at the same time I recommend Arena Trap, which has two different sort of abilities, let's call them. First one is the Pokemon and the trainers cannot run or switch out when you have this Pokemon out and fighting. And the second one is it helps you to increase encounters in the wild. So you actually have more encounters if you have Arena Trap. You can use it for hunting, so you encounter more Pokemon faster. And again, this setup here is a little bit wrong, unfortunately. I've done it a little bit wrong, but it should be attack 252 trained, effort value point in green brackets, and the speed should be trained 252 in the brackets. And again, speed and attack are the most important, and I recommend Adamant. Jolly can work as well, but Adamant is a little bit better because this is naturally really fast Pokemon, so attack is recommended. So Adamant is probably a better choice. If you can catch one, it's easy to catch. You can go to Diglett's cave. All you got in there is pretty much Digletts and Dactyrios. Catch a few and eventually you'll get a good one, and then you can use it as an Earthquake move to counter electric Pokemon if you don't have Earthquake on Gyarados. I also have a Sludge Wave setup, Night Slash, that is a Dark type. Sludge Wave, it's a Poison type, 3 attack, has 20% to paralyze or freeze or burn the target, and Earthquake, it's a 100 power move that will be very effective against many types, even ghosts with the Earthquake as well. So that will come handy and easy one to catch, so bear that in mind. And let me get another Pokemon out, and I'm going to show you 4 more Pokemon that I will recommend to have. So I want to show you some of the fire Pokemon that you can also have, which are fairly good, like Arcanine as well, which is commonly used again in player versus player and in the game. Again, this one is a little bit harder to catch. It's a very rare Pokemon, but there's a lot of places around Kanto that you can actually catch a Growlithe and then evolve it, and it's going to be worth it. And it's usually used for as Jolly, maybe an Adamant. Some people use it Impish, but that's probably more for like player versus player than game story itself. So again, you want a good attack and good speed. In my case, as you can see, I need to reset my IVs. A very low speed and very low attack in the yellow brackets. But you want to, as much as possible, again, I would suggest a minimum 25 plus for speed and attack on the IVs, and then individual value points. And again, train attack and speed to 252 to increase the efficiency to maximum. And it's got ability Flash Fire that is recommended, that basically Pokemon fire attacks do 1 time have more damage if it hit by one fire move, and it also has a fire immunity, so it cannot be actually attacked back by the fire. And you can set up like extreme speed, Flare Blitz, maybe Wild Charge, which is sort of like a electric type physical move, and Crunch, for example. That's like an easy setup to get, and you will come really handy as well in the game. One more fire Pokemon that I also like and recommend, it's actually Ninetales, which evolves from Vulpix. And again, this one is a special attacker, and so it's either you can have Modest or you can have a Timid maybe, but I'm using Modest. Again, the same ability, Flash Fire, like Growlithe, like Arcanine a minute ago. And I recommend here you have to have a good special attack and good speed. So 20 plus 5 speed and a special attack. Mine is a little bit lacking on special attack here, but it's set up a little bit different, as you can see. I've got a little bit extra for special defense in here, and a little bit extra for HP. It's a bit of a setup more defensively. I've got my speed at maximum and special attack set up, but I'll tell you now why in the green brackets, as you can see. But I'll tell you why, because you also have a nasty plot that you can use to increase your special attack by 2 each time you use it. That's why I can actually temper with it. I can actually work with that. If I survive 1 or 2 attacks, I can set up a nasty plot and my special attack will go up anyway, and at the same time I'm gaining on HP and special defense abilities. And I have a Hacks, Will-O-Wisp, a Nasty Plot and Fire Blast set up here, but there might be other movesets also that you can find desirable. Now, another Pokemon I want to talk to you guys about is a Starmie, usually recommended Timid or Modest. I use a Timid one here, as you can see, very fast Pokemon. I use one with Illuminate. If you want one for fighting, typically, it's more maybe used in natural care, but Illuminate, it will allow you to hunt Pokemon much faster. Sort of like I mentioned about Duck Trio and Arena Trap. This pretty much speeds up the encounter rate, makes your encounter rates pretty much doubles them. It's much faster encountering Pokemon. So when you're hunting, you have constant encounters every few steps rather than keep waiting for another one to show up. But you gaining less money. So you're actually getting less money for this when you're using this ability to hunt. And again, like I said, it's Timid or Modest recommended. So you want a good special attack and good speed. As you can see, I've got 29 special attack IVs and 31 speed IVs, and trained my speed, effort value points and my special attack to maximum 252. And also very handy to use in map control if you're in a clan, for example in Johto Safari Zone. And this is a setup that I normally use for that purpose, which is Psychic, Surf, Thunderbolt and Power Gem. So Psychic is a physical type, Surf water type, Thunderbolt electric type, and Power Gem rock type. So as you can see, there's a massive versatility in this Pokemon. You can use 4 different types to basically counter everything that you would want. You can also use and change sometimes into a recover, so that way you can recover 50% of your HP if you like. There's a move available in your move bank. A very good Pokemon to have. I do recommend. I've been using that from the very beginning and it helped me immensely in the game. And also I do recommend very much Gardevoir. You do want to have probably one Gardevoir in your Pokemon storage. It's a Psychic Fairy. It's recommended Timid usually. Synchronize is good enough, but you can also use ability Trace if you want to do player versus player, but Synchronize is sufficient for the storyline of the game, and at the same time you can synchronize Pokemon. Again, like I mentioned, there's a video recommended in the top right corner to find out what synchronizing actually means and how to work with it. So this is again special attack and speed. You won't have a good one. In this case, because I only use it as a synchronized Pokemon, my speed is not the greatest, but I can live with that. And special attack is also important. So again, I would say over 25 plus IVs in the yellow brackets, and train special attack and speed to maximum in the green brackets again to the most efficiency. And they will come very handy to fight some of the elite fours as well later up the line. Gardevoir can only be found in casino. Price seller for casino tokens is 4,000 tokens if you want. Don't forget, if you want to roll one that is Timid, maybe borrow from someone a Timid sync first, so you make sure you sync the Timid nature, or you can buy them on the global market, but they're not the most cheapest one. They might cost you quite a bit of money if you want the right nature and good IVs on it. And this is my pretty much setup: Psychic, Energy Ball, Draining Kiss and the Moon Blast. Quite effective setup that you can use. We can also use a Calm Mind, sort of like I mentioned earlier on the Alakazam and Kadabra. Calm Mind will keep increasing your special defense and special attack. That's what I use normally on my Gardevoir designed for player versus player. But it's also very handy, Calm Mind, to fight trainers and elite fours later on. Now we have a Watchhog that you cannot really catch it in Kanto, but you can buy it. I don't think they're very expensive, they're quite cheap. Adamant nature is recommended, and it will come later on very handy in the game with Illuminate ability as well. And it's very good for, again, like Starmie, for hunting Pokemon, increasing your encounter rates, and you can pretty much one-shot almost everything everywhere. But also it's recommended with the choice item that is a choice band, which you can only get for either philanthropist points or again in casino tokens. If you ever decide to go and hunt Mew, this is a good Pokemon to have in the faraway islands. And again, it's attack and speed that you want, because it's a physical attacker and you want them over 25 plus minimum. And again, like you can see, 29, 25, and train your attack and speed again to maximum on this Pokemon. So I've got Bite, Crunch, Low Kick and Return. Low Kick is good for certain types like Golems, Crunch good for Ghost types, for example. Same as Bite is a Dark type, but Return is the one that you can get for only from TM, and it's very good because it has a, if your happiness is a maximum, you have 102 power plus the adamant nature, this plus 2 attack, plus 10% attack, and the choice band that gives you 50% attack. It's pretty strong move. And the last but not the least, Blissey or Chansey, you can use with Eviolite, or in this case my Blissey's been evolved, but Blissey wants to be a defensive Pokemon, and he has quite good use as a toxic stall when it comes to fighting later on, like Sinnoh Elite Four, even Unova Elite Four, or even player versus players. A lot of people use this Pokemon as a stall, so it's plus defense but minus attack. But in this case, you don't really use an attack or special attack in Blissey, and I'll explain in a minute why. And it's recommended to have a natural care, which is, so it's bold nature, natural care. So anything, major status conditions will be cured when you switch out, and you want to basically train most important IVs here: HP, defense, and special defense. So as you can see, my special defense and defense are quite good for 26, 27 IVs in the yellow brackets. HP could be a little bit better, and in this case you want to train your defense to maximum, because the defense is a little bit weaker on Blissey, and you want to train HP to maximum to survive as long as possible, so you can stall it. Now I'll explain how. And I also recommend the leftovers for Blissey when you're fighting, leftovers that you can get from Snorlax or you can buy on market. So this moveset is not the moveset that I'm using. This moveset is the moveset that I'm using normally for Mew hunting. But what I recommend is to have a Seismic Toss, which you can only learn from, again, from a Clan War building in Vermilion on the right hand side. You can get that for, I can't remember, it's either Egg Move Tutor or Normal Move Tutor ticket that you can buy on Global Market or get it for Clan War tokens. Also, Stealth Rock is recommended. A lot of people using Stealth Rock, which is a status move, but that's only good when you're fighting either trainers or player versus player. In the wild, you don't really have that much use for it. And then you have a Minimize that comes quite handy, but this doesn't work in the wild, so only works against other trainers or player versus player again. Soft Boiled Egg will give you 50% your HP back, and Toxic Move, which is a TM, it's up here somewhere, there we go. Toxic Move will poison a Pokemon. If it can be poisoned, then you can poison it, and the way it works is you poison it and then you keep minimizing to maximum +6, so that you can +6 evasion, so they can't really hit you that often, and then you keep using soft boiled to keep healing yourself, and that way you can stall them out. That's until they die from the poison itself. And the Blissey comes very handy as well when you get to like Sinnoh and Unova. It will come very handy as a stall. So pretty much, guys, this is the 10 Pokemon, or I should say pretty much I covered 12 Pokemon, but 2 of those Pokemon basically are mainly used for like synchronizing, but also can be used for like Watchog and Starmie. Also Watchog, like I mentioned, it's not something you can catch in Kanto. Blissey you can, but it's difficult. Or Chansey can be also rolled from a battle queue. So if you go to the battle queue and you want to do some fighting, you can go to a prize shop and you can roll one for 200 points. I'm going to show you in a second. So there it is, Chansey for 200 points. You can try to get some points from battle queue by fighting ranked battles, or you can try to hunt for it. The only place really in Kanto is in Safari Zone in Fuchsia City, but it's difficult because there's 4 or 5 different VRs over there, so it's difficult to actually get one that way. but you don't need it straight away. Later on in the game, when you need it, you can get it, because they're quite expensive to buy, Bold Nature with the right IVs, so maybe try to focus on it later on in the game. And the Watchhawk is sort of the same. You don't need it yet. You can catch a Starmie, it's got the same ability, and Starmie will come handy to fight and to hunt for Pokemon and increase your encounter rates. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I do hope that you found this very informative, and I hope this will help you get through the game. All these basic Pokemon that I mentioned that you can catch in Kanto will 100% help you in the game, and you will get you through the whole game fairly easy if you simply catch the right natures, the right abilities, and train them correctly. So don't forget guys, you're gonna have all these videos now at the end. Watch them. If you don't know what the IVs are, if you don't know what the effort value points are, how to train them, and if you're not sure about hidden powers and not sure about synchronizing abilities, they're all here available at the end and in the recommended videos, so don't forget to watch them. So thank you very much for now, and good luck guys. I'm sure with all this setup that I just showed you, you're gonna have no problem getting through the game. They're easy to catch, so don't waste your time trying to catch God knows what Pokemon. Get those and you will have no problems. So thank you very much for watching guys again. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to smash the red button if you like the content, and good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care for now.